We're going to start with Exodus, the 20th chapter. We're going to read the law. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. Go ahead and read, brother.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all them in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Yes, sir. That's the covenant, brother. Let's go to Revelations, 22nd chapter. We're going to read 13 through 15. Go ahead and read, brother.
I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Yes, sir. Now, let's go to the conclusion of the matter. Ecclesiastes 12, verses 13 and 14. Go ahead and read, bro.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments.
Yes.
For this is the whole duty of man.
Yes.
For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Indeed, bro. Indeed. When you go back to Exodus, the 20th chapter, notice it says something in the Sabbath day. Outside of remember, it told you that if someone is living within your gates, in your gates, not you in their gates, that they got to do what? Keep the Sabbath too.
Yes.
If somebody can't get with the program, then guess what? They got to go. You know, I ain't talking about no little babies. You know, hey, you got to get out of here. We talking adults and things of that nature. They have to do what you have to do, or else. That's what the book said. So be mindful of those things, okay?
Yes.
So today's title is The Church. When you think about the church, what do you think about? A lot of people think about a building. They say when you ride down the street, I passed so many churches. No, you didn't. You passed a lot of buildings. You didn't pass a lot of churches. We're going to point some things out as we deal with this lesson. Let's start in Acts, the 7th chapter. Acts chapter 7. I ain't saying you can't call the building a church, but we say that often, but the Lord got a different definition. This is how you can tell that most people don't read or understand the Bible. You know. So Acts, the 7th chapter, we're going to pick it up at verse 34. 34 through 38. I want to make sure everybody get there, brother. So Acts, the 7th chapter and verse 34. Go ahead and read, bro.
I have seen the affliction of my people which is in Egypt.
Yes, sir.
And I have heard their groaning, and am come down to deliver them. And now come, I will send thee into Egypt.
Go ahead.
This Moses, whom they refused, saying, who made thee a ruler and a judge? The same did God send to be a ruler and a deliverer by the hand of the angel which appeared to him in the bush.
So that's one thing that people got a problem with is the servant that the Lord always said up. Go ahead and read.
He brought them out. After that, he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt.
Yes, sir.
And in the Red Sea. And in the wilderness 40 years.
In the wilderness for 40 years. Go ahead.
This is that Moses, which said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren. Like unto me, him shall you hear.
Go ahead. What else?
This is he that was in the church.
Wait a minute. This is he that was in what?
The church. In the wilderness.
They didn't have no building at no time in the wilderness, right?
No, they didn't.
It's going to be a time where the Lord have something built, but we're going to see for who. But right now, he talking about the people, right?
Yes.
Go ahead and read.
In the wilderness with the angel which spake to him in the Mount Sinai.
Yes.
And with our fathers who received the lovely oracles to give us to us.
So that's the word of God. They received the lively oracles. That's what he say. Answers. Let's go to Ephesians, the 5th chapter. Because if you got a church, you got to have a head of the church, right? Ephesians, the 5th chapter. You have to have a head of a church. You got the one over in Rome. The head over there is who? The Pope.
Pope.
So now we're gonna find out who the head of this church that started in the wilderness long before the Pope came along. Ephesians 5, we're just gonna read one verse. Read verse 23, brother. What it say?
For the husband is the head of the wife,
Uh-huh.
even as Christ is the head of the church.
Wait a minute. Who is the head of the church?
Christ is the head of the church.
So we know who is the head of the church that started in the wilderness. 1 Corinthians 10 chapter let you know that it was Jesus back there. Other scriptures too, but go ahead.
And he is the savior of the body.
He's the savior of the body. The church is also called the body. Keep that in mind as we go on this journey. Let's go to Exodus, the 25th chapter. Exodus chapter 25. The Lord ain't got none of this stuff written in her for no reason. It's a reason why he got it all in the book. It's definitely for us to know and understand. Exodus 25, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. So now the Lord is eating and set up his priesthood. The head of the churches at this particular time is Moses, and Aaron being his helping hand. You understand? So Exodus 25 and verse 1. When you get it, go ahead and read.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering.
Bring me a what?
An offering.
Who he speaking to? Children of Israel. Go ahead.
Of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart, ye shall take my offering.
Now, the Lord said offering, right?
Yes.
So this thing have to be free, willing. Skip down to verse 8. What they going to do with this offering?
And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them.
So they're going to make him a sanctuary that he may dwell among us, right? This is the Lord saying, I'm coming down now. So we're going to go over to chapter 28. Remember, they left up out of Egypt. They had all riches, wealth, gold, silver. They had all kind of clothing and stuff like that. The book said they borrowed it. Well, when they were going to pay it back, they mean the Lord gave them a payday. Exodus the 28th chapter, and we're going to read 1 through 3. 28, 1 through 3. Now, he finna pick Aaron's sons, put them to work. The Lord is setting everything in order. When you read 1 Corinthians, the book say, let all things be done what? Decently and in order. 28, 1 through 3. Go ahead, brother.
And take thou unto thee Aaron, thy brother,
Yes.
and his sons with him,
Go ahead.
from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office.
What else?
Even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom.
Now the Lord letting you know that, listen, I gave them wisdom. I feel, he said wise hearted. I filled them with the spirit of wisdom. Go ahead.
That they may make Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. So every gift and talent that we got out here, guess who blessed us with that? The Lord. The Lord. Who was it? David said in Psalm, he said, the Lord made my hands to war. He said, he taught me to war. There ain't nothing we can do without God teaching us. This is the body, right? Leviticus, the 10th chapter. Leviticus chapter 10, because with all your gifts, you can end up slacking and do what these guys did right here. Remember, he just gave them the spirit to be wise-hearted. Let's see if they followed that to a T. There's two of Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, the ones we just read about. Two of them we just read about. He had three. Leviticus 10 and verse 1. Go ahead and read, brother. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer.
Go ahead.
And put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not.
Oh, so they start doing their own thing. That's something else you got to watch out for in the body. You can't just do your own thing. You can't just jump to something that ain't pertaining to you. Go ahead and read.
And there went out fire from the Lord, and devoured them.
Wait a minute, you mean God killed them?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And they died before the Lord.
We may not take it serious, but we see how God take it serious. Go ahead.
Then Moses said unto Aaron, this is it, that the Lord spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me.
Yes, sir.
And before all the people I will be glorified. And Aaron held his peace.
Yes.
And Moses called Mishael and Elizaphan and the sons of Uzziel, the uncle of Aaron, and said unto them, Come near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp. So they went near and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moses had said.
Go ahead.
And Moses said unto Aaron and unto Eleazar and unto Ithamar, his sons, Uncover not your heads, neither rend your clothes, lest ye die, and lest wrath come upon all the people.
So you couldn't even mourn for your children after they did wrong. This is what he telling them. They can't mourn. Go ahead.
But let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning which the Lord hath kindled.
Yeah, so that was supposed to increase the fear and understand when God tell you to do something, you do it. Exactly how he tell you to do it. Let's go to Joshua, the first chapter. Moses died, Joshua took over. Let's go look at what Joshua is about to say, what the Lord finna say to Joshua. Joshua chapter 1, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. When you get it, my brother, go ahead and read that.
Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that I have given unto you, as I said unto Moses.
Yes, sir.
From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast.
Go ahead.
There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life.
Yes.
As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee.
Yep, because no man took over. No man could beat Moses. And then now Joshua, the greatest general, he said, ain't nobody going to be able to stand before you. Go ahead.
Be strong and of good courage.
Yes.
For unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land.
Yes.
Which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee, turning not from it to the right hand or to the left.
Oh, y'all see that? He said, don't turn from the right or to the left. Go ahead.
That thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest.
Yes, sir. Wherever you move to, you gonna prosper. Go over to the 6th chapter. Now let's look at what Joshua do. And let's look at the order that Israel had at this particular time. Chapter 6 and verse 1. He had some order. But y'all know with Israel, it don't last long. It's sad to say, but it's the truth. Six and verse 1. Go ahead.
Now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Joshua, See, I have given into thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. And you shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days.
So how many days?
6 days.
6. Go ahead.
And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns, and the 7th day you shall compass the city 7 times. And the priest shall blow with the trumpets.
Now, this is specific directions he given. Skip down to verse 6.
And Joshua, the son of Nun, called the priests and said unto them, Take up the ark of the covenant. Let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord. And he said unto the people, pass on, and compass the city, and let him that is armed pass on before the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns passed on before the Lord, and blew with the trumpets, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And the armed men went before the priests that blew with the trumpets, and the rearward came after the ark, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout. Then shall you shout.
Listen, they was even afraid of Joshua, because look, he told Israel, don't do this. Go ahead.
So the ark of the Lord compassed the city, going about it once, and then came into the city and lodged in the camp.
Yes.
And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. And 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord went on continually and blew with the trumpets. And the armed men went before them, but the rearward came after the ark of the Lord.
Yes.
The priests going on and blowing with the trumpets.
Go ahead.
And the second day they compassed the city once and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days.
Like he said, right? Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times.
Yes. What happened? Go ahead.
And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priest blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, shout, for the Lord hath given you the city.
And this is how it's going to be when the Lord take the world down. Because the angels got to blow 7 trumpets. So the Lord don't do nothing that he not going to show us that's going to be for the future to come. So skip down to verse 20, bro.
So the people shouted when the priest blew with the trumpets, and it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so
Yes.
that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city.
And they did what?
They took
the city. Just like Jesus and the saints gonna take the world, and the angels. Let's go to Numbers, the 16th chapter. Numbers chapter 16. This can also happen in the body, so you got to be careful. You got to be real careful. 16, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Numbers chapter 16 and verse 1. When you get it, my brother, go ahead and read.
Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the son of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, the son of Reuben, took men. And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in their congregation, men of renown.
Yes, sir. They're very, very popular among the people. Go ahead.
And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And said unto them, you take too much upon you, saying all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord.
Wait a minute. The Lord gave Moses his position. And Aaron. And Aaron's sons. So look at how they trying to press upon Moses and act like this Moses doing this himself. And then they saying, we all holy. How you going to hold this thing by yourself? Go ahead and read.
And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face.
Yes, sir.
And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his.
Yes, sir.
And who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he hath chosen, will he cause to come near unto him.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
This do, take your censers, Korah, and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy.
Who we reading about? The church, right?
Yep.
This is all functioning in the body. Go ahead.
You take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. And Moses said unto Korah, hear, I pray ye sons of Levi. Seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them.
So he letting them know, y'all had a job too. And this is Moses' cousins here. Go ahead and read.
And he hath brought thee near to him, and all the brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also.
Look, and you want the priesthood too? You already got a job. Go ahead.
For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron? That ye murmur against him.
And who is Aaron that you murmur against him? He just my spokesman to help me. So now, skip down to verse 15.
And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Lord, respect not thou their offering? I have not taken any ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them.
Yep.
And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And take every man his censer, and put incense in them. Bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers. Thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer.
Yep.
And they took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron.
At some point, you got to think, stop and think, wait a minute. I'm going against Moses here. And if he giving me these instructions, the Lord finna show me that I'm not the one to be going up against the Lord and against Moses. Go ahead and read.
And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation.
Do what?
Separate yourselves from
The Lord,
among the
now,
congregation.
when the Lord tell you to move, move. Go ahead.
That I may consume them in a moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation?
Still trying to do what? Have mercy and deal with them. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men.
Now he telling them, I don't care what type of renown they got. Separate from these wicked men, because the Lord finna do something. But let's see what they decide to do. Go ahead.
And touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins.
Yes, sir.
So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that the Lord has sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind.
That's right. Go ahead.
If these men die in the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord hath not sent me.
That's right.
But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth, and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord.
Yes, indeed. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, as he had made an end of the speaking of all these words, that the ground clave asunder, that was under them. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods.
It's what we would call an earthquake. So it happened the way Moses said it, right?
Yes.
It wasn't a common death. Go ahead.
They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation.
Go ahead.
And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also.
That's right. Go ahead.
And there came out a fire from the Lord, and consumed the 250 men that offered incense.
Yes, sir. Now, we're going to move on. You can finish reading it, and you'll see more got killed. And then they're going to start blaming Moses like he did it. And the Lord did this thing. You know, Moses ain't got no power. Let's go to 2 Samuel, the 6th chapter. Let's go look at David. After they bring back the ark of the ark which bear the covenant back to the Lord. What happened during this particular time? Sometimes you can get excited and do the right thing, but at the same time doing it wrong. And the Lord still will kill you for good intentions, but not after due order. 2 Samuel, the 6th chapter, pick it up at verse 1, brother. Second Samuel 6 and verse 1. Go ahead and read.
Again, David gathered together all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Bali of Judah to bring up from thence the ark of God, whose name is called by the name of the Lord of hosts, that dwelleth between the cherubims. And they set the ark of God upon a new cart and brought it out of the house of Abinadab that was in Gibeah, and Uzzah and Ahio, the sons of Abinadab, drove the new cart. And they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was at Gibeah, accompanying the ark of God, and Ahio went before the ark. And David and all the house of Israel played before the Lord on all manner of instruments made of fir wood, even on harps, and on psalteries, and on timbrels, and on cornets, and on cymbals. And when they came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of God.
So now you got them.
Put forth his hand to the ark of God.
So you got them
and took hold of it.
So you got them joyful, playing all kind of music. David in front line, because you know David is a singer. David dealing with the choir. Go ahead and read. What else?
And took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah.
Wait a minute. So the oxen shook the thing. They don't have it the way that the Lord told them to carry this thing. They were supposed to have 2 staves and men carrying them with hooks up on their shoulders. Go ahead and read.
And God smote him there for his error, and there he died by the ark of God.
Whoa. So wait a minute. His intentions was good. He didn't want the ark to fall on the ground. But God still killed him. Letting you know you have to do it by order. Go ahead.
And David was displeased because the Lord had made a breach upon Uzzah, and he had called the name of the place Perez Uzzah to this day.
Yep. Y'all notice how Brother Bowie always say, if you're going to do wrong right. That's because he understand exactly what we point out. The Lord will not, he won't have mercy upon you, even with your good intentions. If it's not after due order, go ahead and read.
And David was afraid of the Lord that day and said, how shall the ark of the Lord come to me? So David would not remove the ark of the Lord unto him into the city of David. But David carried it aside into the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite.
Yep.
And the ark of the Lord continued in the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite 3 months. And the Lord blessed Obed-Edom and all his household.
What that let you know, if you got the commandments in your house, what the Lord gonna do to you? Bless it. Go ahead and read.
And it was told King David, saying, the Lord.
No, that's it. That's it. That was in verse 11, right? That's all we wanted to show you. That even in the church, what the Lord's still doing, killing people, even with good intentions. We saw that when they came against Aaron, they had bad intentions. He'll kill you. Aaron's sons, bad intentions. Joshua and them, good intentions, after due order, blessings. So now, go to Matthew the 25th chapter. Matthew chapter 25. Matthew chapter 25, and we're going to pick it up at verse 14. Jesus got a couple of parables he want to read. Or he quoted that I want to read. 25 and verse 14. Go ahead, brother.
For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country,
Go ahead.
who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods.
Yep.
And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey.
Yes.
Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents.
So he brought 5 more now. He put good use to the 5 talents that was given to him. Go ahead.
And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2.
Yep, so there go 4. Go ahead.
But he that had received 1 went out and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time,
hold on. So he did something different, didn't he?
Yeah.
Let's see how the Lord feel about it. Go ahead.
After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them.
Wait, he said a long time.
Yes.
So when he digged that and put that talent down there, it's for a long time, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more.
Yes.
His Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things.
Yes, this is still the body. This is still Jesus Christ being the head. Go ahead.
Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them.
Yeah, they proud. They proud about it too. Happy. Go ahead.
His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant.
Yes.
Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things.
Yes.
Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord.
Go ahead.
Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathered where thou hast not strawed.
If I knew he was a hard man, then I wouldn't be digging nothing and hiding. Go ahead.
And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine.
Yes, go ahead.
His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant.
What they call him? Wicked and slothful, meaning lazy. Go
Thou,
ahead.
thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed.
Yes.
Thou oughtest before to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury.
Yes, sir. Where the money at? Go ahead.
Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents.
Yes, sir. Took it from you. Give it to somebody that's worthy. Go ahead.
For unto everyone that hath shall be given,
Yes.
and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath.
In other words, we got the talent, the duties, and if you have that responsibility, don't go and act like you're going to sit on it. Because the Lord say he'll give it to somebody else. Then when he show up, you to my ear, hard man, yeah. You heard about that lake you read about, right? There. That's not funny because that's a serious matter. Go ahead and read.
And cast ye the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness.
He said doing that's unprofitable because you could have gained more. Go ahead.
There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Yes, sir. So now let's go over to Proverbs, the 21st chapter. Proverbs chapter 21. We're going to read one verse. Solomon said, hey, I got something to say about this matter. Proverbs chapter 21. That's unique. I ain't pay attention to that, Rob. That's unique. Okay. 21 and 25. Go ahead.
The desire of the slothful killeth him.
Wait a
His
minute.
hands refuse to labor.
Read that again a little bit slower.
The desire of the slothful killeth him.
He killeth them. The desire of the slothful killeth them. Go ahead.
For his hands refuse to labor.
Because you desire so much, but you won't go get it. It's killing you inside. Why? Because you want everything that's out there. But you won't go labor for it. That's how the one with the talent was. But it didn't say he was desiring nothing. He just hid his work. So now, what we want to read is, let's go to Luke. Let's go to the book of Luke. Say, killeth it, man. Pointing out everything you want. I want that. I want this. I gotta have this over here, but you ain't doing nothing about it. Luke chapter 9 and verse 57. Chapter 9 and 57. Go ahead and read, brother.
And it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto him, Lord, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest.
And we heard a lot of people say that. Go ahead.
And Jesus said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head.
And when I say a lot of people say I will follow thee where thou goest, y'all heard the saying, right? What would Jesus do? What he would do, you ain't doing. Jesus kept the Sabbath, the feast days. Jesus cared for all the people. He prayed for the folk. He came and laid down his life. You mean to tell me you'll do all that?
Right.
We won't even do a tenth of what he said. Go ahead and read. What else?
And he said unto another, Follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father.
Wait a minute. First, allow me to go bury my father. You're going to tell God, first, let me do this. Don't work that way. Lord call you, you come. Or you got the choice not to. Just know, in the end, there's going to be a problem.
Right.
Go ahead and read.
Jesus said unto him, let the dead bury the dead.
Let them do what?
Dead bury their dead.
Go ahead.
But go thou and preach the kingdom of God.
He said, that's what I'm worried about. Dead folks going to get buried by the dead folks. Spiritually dead, going to bury the physical dead. Whether you there or not, they going to get buried. Don't worry about that. You go and preach the kingdom. Go ahead.
And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee.
I'm going to follow thee,
but let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house.
Wait a minute, I got to go kiss my kids. Tell the wife, hey, baby, I'll be back later. Pack a couple of bags. No. Get up and go. Don't worry about that. Go ahead and read, brother.
And Jesus said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow.
Meaning you started this work. Go ahead.
And looking back is fit for the kingdom of God.
But you worried about family, burying folks, and let me do this first. No. This is what the Bible say. This ain't my words now. Let's go to 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter. This is the church he's talking to. If you part of the church, you're going to do what he say. And Jesus paid for us with his blood. He owned you. That's why Paul always said, I'm a prisoner of Jesus Christ. Whatever he tell me to do, I got to do it. If it's 9 o'clock in the morning, jump up and do it. 5 o'clock in the morning, jump up and do it.
Right.
If he tell you don't brush your teeth, jump up and do it. Well, don't do it. Avoid the brushing of the teeth. 7 and 29. Go ahead and read. Let's see what Paul finna say. 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 29. Paul finna say something about the one that needed to go to their house first. Go ahead and read, brother.
But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none.
Right, so he said, listen, it remaineth short. The time, dude. He said that both they that have wives be as though they had none. You heard about Peter's wife one time. And he was all over the world preaching the gospel, right?
Mm.
So what did he do? He didn't let his wife get in the way of what was going on with the Lord. Go ahead and read.
And they that weep as though they wept not. And they that rejoice as though they rejoice not.
Go ahead.
And they that buy as they that possess not.
Yes, sir. One more.
And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away.
Listen, he said you can use it, but not as abusing this thing. And how do you use it without abusing this thing?
Right.
Making sure that on the Sabbath day you're not doing certain things you shouldn't be.
Right. On
the high days. Then even the regular week, throughout the week, make sure you're not abusing this thing, right? So now, let's go back to Matthew, but we're going to go to 22nd chapter. Because if we commandment keepers, what's the first one? We finna find out. And Jesus did exactly what the Father had said. He told his own parents, look, ain't I supposed to be about my Father's business? They were looking for him. He was at 12 years old,
Right.
saying that. I know Joseph was like, what I told him to do at 12. But Mary, she kept it close to her mind, what he was saying. Matthew chapter 22 and verse 34. It was about the Father. That's his Father right there, you know. Go ahead and read.
But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together.
They found out that he shut them up, right? Because when you read up some, they asking about who should be the one that's going to be a wife in his kingdom, this, that, and the third. Yeah, a man that had 7, married, a woman that been married 7 times. Who going to be her husband and so on and so forth. But go ahead and read.
Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying,
Go ahead.
Master, which is the greatest commandment in the law?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love thy Lord thy God with all thy heart.
Wait a minute. So what's the first? What is the greatest? That you're supposed to love the Lord, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And with all thy soul and with all thy mind.
With everything you got. Go ahead.
This is the first and greatest commandment.
The first and greatest. No, great commandment. Go ahead.
And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
And go ahead.
On these 2 commandments, all the law and the prophets.
Hang all the law and the prophets. He just letting us know right there, right? Let's go to John 13th chapter. St. John, the 13th chapter. Jesus said, hey, this is what I want in the body right here. The Father called this thing from on high. And just think Adam and them could have saved us from all this hurt we're going through. They could have saved us. Go ahead and read. Wait a minute. Where we at? John, right? 13. And pick it up at verse 3. 13 and 3. Go ahead.
Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands.
Yes.
That he was come from God and went to God.
Now he came from God and he went back to God. Go ahead. He
rises from supper and laid aside his garments and took a towel and girded himself.
Wait a minute now. So he got up from dinner and did what? Put a towel around him, got himself together. Go ahead.
After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded.
Go ahead.
Then cometh he to Simon Peter, and Peter saith unto him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet?
Why are you washing my feet? Go ahead.
Jesus answered and said unto him, What I do thou knowest not now, but thou shalt know hereafter.
Hereafter, go ahead.
Peter saith unto him, Thou shalt never wash my feet. Jesus answered him, If I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me.
That's right. Go ahead.
Simon Peter saith unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head.
It let you know, watch what you saying. Because he just told him, you never wash me, I'm supposed to be washing you. He say, boy, if you don't let me wash your feet, you ain't got no part with me in the kingdom. He said, oh, not only my feet, but my hands and my head. Go ahead and wash me up there, you know. They'll let you know, be careful what you're saying. When the Lord say something, it is what it is. Go ahead.
Jesus said to him, He that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet.
That's right.
But is clean every whit.
Yep.
And ye are clean, but not all.
Yes, sir.
For he knew who should betray him. Therefore said he, ye are not all clean.
That's right. Somebody that's among them is foul in a sense. Go ahead.
So after he had washed their feet and had taken his garments and was set down again, he said unto them, Know ye what I have done to you? You call me Master and Lord, and you say, Well, for so I am.
Yes.
If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet.
Right. And he ain't talking about just running around washing men's feet. He gonna give you an understanding of what he talking about. Go ahead.
For I have given you an example that ye should do as I have done to you.
What he say? An example of what you should do one to another. In other words, serve somebody. He's the greatest among them. And if he can get down and wash their feet, what he letting you know? The greatest among you, serve them. Go ahead and read.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord.
That's right.
Neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him.
Right. So he letting them know right there, look, I'm greater than you, but guess what? I'm the one that's down there washing your feet. So what should you do for one another? Lay down your lives. Show love. This is what we're supposed to do to one another. In fact, go to chapter 21. He finna tell Peter right here. Because he said, you gonna know after a while what I mean by what I'm doing to you. And he finna give Peter a directive for what he should be doing. Chapter 21 and verse 15. 21 and 15. When you get it, go ahead.
So when they had dined, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my lambs.
Wait a minute. You know that I love them, right? Jesus just showed him the example. He said, feed my lambs. Go ahead.
He saith to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my sheep.
Feed my what, brother?
Feed my sheep.
Feed my sheep. Go ahead.
He saith unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things.
And y'all know that's us. We do that. Somebody asks you a question 3 times. The same question. You're like, man, I done heard you already. I said, yeah. So he grieved. Go ahead.
Thou knowest that I love thee. Jesus saith unto him, Feed my sheep.
Feed my sheep. He trying to get a point across. I want you to do what I told you to do. Let's go to 1 Peter, the 3rd chapter. 1 Peter, the 3rd chapter. Now Peter is on his own. Jesus died, resurrected, went back to the Father already, sitting on the right-hand side. And now Peter got to do his job. Let's see what he say to Israel scattered abroad. First Peter, the 3rd chapter, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. 3 and verse 1. Go ahead and read, brother.
Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of their wives. While they behold...
Hold on, wait. 1 Peter, the 5th chapter. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I said 3rd. My bad. 5th chapter. I'm like, wait, wives? First Peter, the 5th chapter. We're going to put 1 through 6. Go ahead and read, brother.
The elders which are among you, I exhort, who am also an elder, and a witness of the sufferings of Christ.
Yes, sir.
And also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed.
Yes, sir. Maybe I'm going to become God when he come back. Go ahead.
Feed the flock of God, which is among you.
Wait a minute. Feed what?
The flock of God.
What Jesus tell him 3 times? Feed my sheep. Now he's doing what? Teaching the same message. Be a servant. That's love right there. Us being up here teaching don't make us lord over you. That make us servants to you. Go ahead and read.
Taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly.
Yes.
Not for filthy lucre, but of ready mind.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Neither as being lords over God's heritage.
See, that's why I said we ain't lords over the people. Go ahead.
But being examples to the flock.
Be an example like Jesus was. Go ahead.
And when the chief shepherd shall appear,
yes,
you shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away.
That fadeth not away. Go ahead.
Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility, for God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble.
He resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. Go ahead.
Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time.
And we know what that exalt talking about. He gonna give you what? A crown. And he gonna give you immortality. Let's go to Luke, the 10th chapter. Luke chapter 10. This ain't a long lesson. It's gonna be done in a second. Luke chapter 10 and verse 1 and 2. One and 2. It was 12 disciples back then, but Jesus had more than just 12. Then he gonna make a point after this. Go ahead.
After these things, the Lord appointed others 70 also, and sent them 2 and 2 before his face into every city and place, whither he himself would come.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few.
We need more laborers in the harvest. Go ahead.
Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he would send forth laborers into his harvest.
Yes, sir, that they may do what? Bring more people into this thing. So now, let's move forward. I want to go to 1 Corinthians. I got it in her, but I didn't give it to Ben. 1 Corinthians, the 12th chapter. We're going to read 1 through 2. I'm sorry, we're going to read 1. We're going to skip 4 through 12. Skip down to 14 through 28. Because this finna explain the body and what everybody have. The different talents in the body. And how you can't separate yourself from it. The Lord allow it to function like your body that you have, fingers, arms, legs. You got a head that run everything, right?
Yes.
This is what a thought said. This is where you tell your mind, all right, I want my hands to do this. I want my legs to do this. You understand what I'm saying? So 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 1. Go ahead.
Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant.
Now concerning spiritual gifts, talents, I will not have you ignorant. I don't want you to be ignorant concerning this. Skip the 4.
Now there are diversities of gifts,
Different gifts. Go ahead.
but the same Spirit.
But the same Spirit, the Lord has given it to you. Go ahead.
And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And there are diversities of operations, but
Yes.
it is the same God which worketh all in all.
Okay. A lot of different operations, but it is the same Lord. Go ahead.
But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal.
Yes.
For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom,
Yes.
to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
to another faith by the same Spirit,
Yep.
to another the gifts of healing by the same Spirit.
I've heard people say, hey, man, how is it that y'all teach like that and can remember scriptures off the top of your head? Go here, go there. There's a talent or a gift that he may have given to me, but not you.
Right.
But that don't mean you don't get salvation. Because all you have to do is do what? Keep the commandments. Go ahead and read.
To another the working of miracles,
Yes.
to another prophecy,
You got some that know prophecy. Go ahead.
to another discerning of spirits,
Yes, sir. You can discern the spirits. Go ahead.
to another divers kind of tongues,
Different kinds of tongues. Some people can speak languages fluently. Go ahead.
to another interpretation of tongues.
Yes, sir. And another one can interpret what a person's saying. Go ahead.
But all these worketh the one and the self same Spirit,
Go ahead.
dividing to every man severally as he will.
Go ahead.
For as the body is one and hath many members,
Wait a minute. The body is one having many members. Your body got many members. Go ahead.
and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body,
Yes.
so also is Christ.
Yep. And he's the head, right?
Yes.
And we the body. Skip to 14 to read.
For the body is not one member, but many.
Now, because some people act like that. That's how the guys that ran up on Moses did. We all holy. No, there's more than one member in the body, man. Do your job. Go ahead and read.
For as one,
15.
if the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body?
See that? When you notice your foot arguing with your hand.
Right.
Not a day in your life has that ever happened. That's why he's giving us that, because it don't happen. Read.
And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body?
Now the ear mad because he's not the eye. So I want to separate. I ain't finna work with you. I want to be the eye. You know, you gonna make me the ear. Go ahead and read.
If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling?
See that? It gotta be different parts, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
But now hath God set the members, every one of them in the body, as it has pleased him.
That's right.
And if they were all one member, where were the body?
That's right. Go ahead.
But now are the many members yet but one body.
That's right.
And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor gain the head to the feet, I have no need of you. Nay, much of these members of the body, which seem to be more feeble, are necessary.
You know how that is. People run off. Hey, I ain't got no need to be. I ain't got nothing to do with that. No, you part of the body. Get on over here. You just gonna chop the arm off and run? No, I need that arm. Go ahead and read.
And those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor.
That's right.
And our uncomely parts have more abundant commonness.
It's like you see the janitor walking around in the church, cleaning up. Oh, well, I ain't got to listen to him if he say something to me. Yes, you do. The one that you think is less honorable, he said, no, you give all honor to him. Because that individual serving you just as much as anybody else.
Right.
You want to come in a place where it's comfortable, cozy, clean, sanitized. Janitors. They do that. Go ahead and read. What else?
For our comely parts have no need, but God has tempered the body together.
Yes, sir.
Having given more abundant honor to that part which is lacked.
That's right. Go ahead.
That there should be no schism in the body.
No what?
Schism.
Go ahead.
But that the members should have the same care one for another.
He said no division in the body. We should have care one for another. Go ahead.
And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer.
That's right, brother. Go ahead.
Or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Now ye are the body of Christ, and members in particular. And God hath set some in the church, first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, after the miracles, then gifts of healing, helps, government, diversity of tongues.
See that? He said all these there.
Miracles.
And it's for the benefit of the entire church. The church is the body, Israel. And we're talking about strangers included. The Lord said this is how the body functions, right? And it started in the wilderness.
Right.
You're going to have problems in the body. You're going to have tares grow among the wheat. And you got to understand how to deal with this stuff without being frustrated or saying, I ain't coming around no more. I ain't dealing with you. Too much drama for me. Lord, like you ain't seen drama yet. Drama is coming. You ain't seen that yet.
No, we haven't.
When it comes,
No.
you're going to be wishing you went back to where you was and deal with the small drama. Lord said, I'm gonna clean that thing up. So now, we read 28. Let's go back to Hebrews, the 3rd chapter. Hebrews chapter 3. We're going to read one verse there. Because we gotta give an account of certain things, that's going on. Three and verse 1. Read it.
Wherefore, holy brethren, partakers of the heavenly calling, considered apostle and high priest of our profession, Christ Jesus.
Wait a minute, consider the high priest. Wait a minute, first of all, the holy, he called us holy brethren, so we should conduct ourselves that way. Partakers of the heavenly calling. This is a high calling that the Lord called us to. We can't treat this as some small thing. My job more important. Alrighty. Just so God know that, I don't need to know that. If that's what you feel and the Lord heard, that's between you and him. But ain't nothing more important to me than this calling right here.
Right.
It don't get no higher than that.
Yes.
So, what is a profession? It's a type of job that requires special education, training, and or skills that will do what? It will service or counsel other people. That's the definition I read. So now, go over to chapter 4 and verse 14. Chapter 4 and verse 14. Go ahead and read.
Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast our profession.
Let us hold fast our what?
Profession.
Profession. He talking about that profession again. This is the skill you should have down to a science. Or at least be working towards it like you would any other thing in your life that's very important to you. especially your skill or training that allow you to feed your family and clothe your family. That's God that gave you the ability to do so. That's why we read that earlier. That's why when that tent come, he tell you to get that income up. You shouldn't be frowning. Because the second they came up out of the wilderness, what did they have to give up? An offering. God don't need it, but it's going to service the body. He don't need that. He tell you he owned this earth. And what is that saying? He said, 1,000 cattle up on a hill or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you.
Right.
Because I run everything and I own it all. I tell you, folks, what can you do for me other than be obedient? So now, we read 14.
Yes.
Let's go to Ephesians 4 and 1. Ephesians 4 and 1. We're just going to read one verse over here. Let's look at what Paul finna say. Again. Ephesians, the 4th chapter, and verse 1. 4 and 1. Now he finna say a lot in just this one verse. He was telling Israel about the profession. Now he telling the Gentiles about the profession. Because he wrote Hebrews just as well. Or he was the speaker and then he had a scribe to write. It'll tell you that in Hebrews. But Ephesians 4 and 1, read that.
I, therefore, the prisoner of the Lord.
What he say he there is?
Prisoner of the Lord.
One more time.
Prisoner of the Lord.
If you're a prisoner, what you got to do? You got to abide by what the rules and regulations in the jail say.
Yes.
You in prison, they tell you what time to get up. They tell you what you can and can't do. They tell you when you're on lockdown. They feed you what they want to feed you. And so on and so forth. Then you get privileges too. So it's the same thing. You're a prisoner, meaning you're in subjection to this individual. Go ahead.
Beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you were called.
The vocation, that's basically part of the definition. It's a vocation founded upon specialized education. So go ahead and read.
With all lowliness.
No, he said, so that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called. It's still saying profession. Because if you look those definitions up, I got two of them right here. One, profession, is talking about vocation. The other one, just speaking about the specialized skills. So now, let's go to before we go to 1 Timothy, go back to Hebrews 13. We're going to read one verse here, and then we got two more. Hebrews 13 and verse 17. Hebrews 13, 17. Go ahead and read, brother.
Obey them that have the rule over you.
Yes.
And submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls as they that must give account.
Wait a minute. Obey them that have the what?
Rule over you.
And we know Israel don't like authority. That's the one people that don't like being told what to do. But when it come to God, we better. Especially, look, when we go to work, we'll listen, man. All right, what you say, boss? What I got to do? Because you know you got to get fed by that check. But then when it come to God, what? Who you talking to like that? Why you treating me this way? Who are you? You know, come on, I'm trying to serve you. What's wrong with that? He say, obey them that have rule over you and submit yourselves. Why? Go ahead.
For they watch for your souls.
They do what?
Watch for your souls.
Didn't he tell Peter and them, feed my sheep?
Yes.
Go ahead.
As they that must give account.
We got to give an account for this. We got talents just like everybody else in the body. We got to give an account. I know I am, and when I do, I want to give it thorough as I can. If somebody didn't listen or didn't want to participate, it wasn't because I didn't tell them.
Right.
Go ahead.
That they may do it with joy.
Yes.
And not with grief.
Like Moses fell up on his face so many times. I'm surprised it wasn't cracked. Go ahead.
For that it is unprofitable for you.
That's unprofitable for the ones that don't listen. Right?
Yes.
This is in the body. And then it tell you submit yourselves one to another. So guess what? Even if we in the wrong, we have to correct ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you have to come with the book, and you got to come in the right spirit too. Try to put somebody on Front Street. Hey, you, guess what? You supposed to be the teacher. You said this. You supposed to be a usher or elder. You said that. You supposed to be the head over the office, and you did it this way. Come on, man. There's a way to address things. Unless somebody is doing something really rebellious in front of everybody, the book say rebuke them all. Rebuke them sharply. You said it in front of everybody, you did it in front of everybody, you kicking. That's where you're going to get corrected at.
Right.
Why? So everybody will know not to do that. 1 Timothy, the 4th chapter, we got one more after this. 1 Timothy 4 and verse 1. This is why we point out the church, the body, the functioning. Man, there's something else I want to throw in there. I'm going to do it, but read 1 Timothy chapter 4. First Timothy chapter 4. Okay. 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 1. Go ahead.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith.
Yes.
Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
This is what's got to happen because it's written there.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron.
So they ain't even going to be able to understand and or know. Go ahead.
Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from
forbidding
meat.
to what?
To marry.
That's that other church. Go ahead.
And commanding to abstain from meats which God has created to be received.
And they do that too, especially on what is that Friday that they have.
Yeah.
They tell you can only eat fish.
Right.
Lent. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead and read.
To be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
Okay, which believe and know what?
The truth.
Okay, so now, this is one church we know on the face of this earth, this biggest church. They tell you that you can't marry when you're in a position of a bishop, pope, nuns, that stop procreation, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
But let's look at the church that came out of the wilderness real quick. Go to Leviticus 21. Why did he point them out? Because the doctrines come from them. The seducing, them seducing spirits and doctrines of devil, it comes from the mother church, believe it or not. Leviticus 21 and start at verse 1. Let's see about the priests here. Those priests can't marry, but let's see about the Lord's priests. Go ahead and read 21 and 1. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, Speak unto the priests, the son of Aaron, and say unto them, There shall none be defiled for the dead among his people.
Go ahead.
But for his kin that is near unto him, that is, for his mother, and for his father, for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother, and for his sister a virgin that is nigh unto him, which hath no husband, for her may he be defiled.
Okay, now skip down to verse 7 and read.
They shall not take a wife that is a whore or profane, neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband.
So this is who they cannot marry. Go ahead.
For he is holy unto his God.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt sanctify him, therefore, for he offered the bread of thy God. He shall be holy unto thee. For I, the Lord, which sanctify you, am holy.
Go ahead.
And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she profaneth her father, she shall be burnt with fire.
Okay, now that's all we needed right there, right? So it told us, but skip down to verse 13. Skip down to verse 13.
And he shall take a wife in her virginity.
Now that's what he wants to have, a wife in her virginity. Go ahead.
A widow or a divorced woman, or profane or an harlot, these shall he not take, but he shall take a virgin of his own people to wife.
See, this is who he was supposed to deal with right there. Jesus Christ was the high priest, right?
Yes.
He took his wife, and his wife was a virgin. That was Israel. Nobody had her. And then we went played the whore. Didn't he say that? Ezekiel the 16th chapter. Let's go to our last spot, Ephesians 4. Just showing you that church right there is talking about something different. So when we talk in church, we got to be real careful, especially with people outside of that's in the world that don't understand. What church you go to, I answer it because they don't know. The Israel of God Bible study class. Okay. Non-denomination, denomination, they start asking that type of stuff. Look, we keep the commandments of God. All that denomination, non-denomination, I ain't into all that. Ephesians 4 and verse 4. 4 through 6 is what we're going to read. Go ahead.
There is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope.
He said there is one body, right?
Yes.
So how is it one body? And he said no schisms in the body. You got your own belief, your own faith, your own denomination, your own. But we all believe in the same God. How is that?
Don't work.
Don't work. Go ahead and read.
One Lord, one faith, one baptism.
That's right. He said one Lord, one faith. And it's written in this book. Go ahead.
One God and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in you all.
Why did he mention one baptism? Because people baptize all kind of ways.
Right.
And the name he didn't give you to baptize in. Baptizing children. Since when? The Catholic Church does that. They put water on the baby forehead.
Right.
And then guess what? You got different denominations following this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then the ones that going off on the denominations, Israelite groups, some of them dunking babies in the water. That way you got to clean your house up, mister, before you get to talking about somebody else.
Right.
You can't put no baby in no water. They're not even responsible for their actions before you do that. So with that being said, no, keep on reading. You read verse 6?
We read 6.
Read it one more time.
One God and Father of all, who is above all,
Yes,
through
sir.
all, and in you all.
And we got one God, one Father of all, who is above all, and then through you all, and in you all, if we keep the commandments, if we obey, if we follow him. Will there be some mishaps? Of course, but you don't drop the ball. Keep getting up. Make sure you deal with your God. And don't do it intentionally. Because the Lord will know if you're doing it intentionally. And that's when he won't let you get up.
Right.
That's when you'll walk away and you be justifying everything in your head. No, I ain't believe that because this was it. Yeah, that was confusing. I ain't going back to no church. Matter of fact, I don't even believe in that Bible. Trust me, I've seen people do it for years. And it hurt your heart when you see it. So that was the lesson. The church, we understand how it functions. In short, who the church is. And then we even see the ones masking as the church. And just showed you one thing. They forbidden to marry. We could have kept going. They said they abstaining from meats. The Lord told you what meats you cannot eat.
Right.
He ain't say you can't eat meat, period. So that right there just shows you have to be careful with what you're saying and doing. So I hope y'all got something from it, and I thank